Welcome to our show, Never Trust a Fart. We are broadcasting on Twitch to begin with, and I take it, I add some music, edit it up, put it on YouTube on every Wednesday, so this will show up on Wednesday. If you would like to be a guest on here, let us know. We will invite you to our Zoom meeting, which is what we're using the format here. That's what this is, Zoom, streamed over to Twitch and then recorded for YouTube. I'll just go hard key on this. Welcome to another episode of Never Trust a Fart. Just a couple of people, a couple of typical guys who think they're funny.
Look what we have to think with.
So anyways, lately I've been watching you on Facebook talking about a certain neighbor.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
How to start?
I'm lucky. I'm living in Oregon.
Right.
I live in what we call the good part of Grants Pass. Okay, we're on the east side of the Rogue River. Anything on the west side, probably nobody wants to go to, supposedly. I don't believe that, but hey, what are you going to do? Our area was known as Bankers Row back in the day. And, we have a house right next door to us that belonged to a lumber magnate. And our house was built in 1938 by a local surgeon. And a house around the corner that we were looking at buying was owned by a lumber mill owner. He owned like several mills in the area. So the house had nothing but, I would swear probably about 1,000 cabinets, all handmade in this house. Oh, 5,000 square foot house. It was, $300,000 for a 5,000 square foot house. So anyway, we live in a nice area. And I've got some fantastic neighbors, really good neighbors. And I'm happy. I enjoy being with my neighbors. However, I have for want of other words, an old spinster lady next door. Actually, she's not a spinster. I think she's a divorcee. And I can probably tell why she's a divorcee as I go through this conversation. But she never works on her house. And every other house in the area is maintained by a group of 3 different gardeners who work in competition, but in conjunction with one another to make sure all the houses look nice. Right. And it's kind of nice having a gardener. I work on my yard anyway, but he comes on by and he has more knowledge of sods and things like that. So he helps out. And, our area looks nice.
Yeah.
Not her place. Her place, I think there's little Japanese soldiers in there who don't think the war's over yet. And it's an old Victorian. It is, I'm looking at it right now. It's got, it's messed up. Now, that's not her, it might be her fault, I don't know. But being an old divorcee teacher, she probably doesn't have the money to really rebuild the house. However, it is a major problem with a great deal of hoarding. Let's just leave it there. Anyway, this old lady comes outside and she'll work in her yard and she'll pick leaves and do stuff and try to work on the front of the house, try to make it nicer. She's gotten a couple of complaints from the county and the city about the quality of her domain. And, she's been in trouble with her house a couple of times. Yeah. And my youngest loves going over and talking to all the neighbors. And since all of our neighbors are in the octogenarian category, she's got a whole bunch of grandmas and grandpas all over the place. But she makes her paths to all the different houses. And the lady next door, I'm going to call her Beverly, for want of any other word, because I don't want to use her name. Beverly's usually out working in her yard, and my youngest will go on over and start talking to her. And then she'll call me to go over and talk to her. And I'm still Bay Area enough that I don't let my kids outside and play without me out there cleaning a shotgun. So I'm outside doing something, cleaning a shotgun or working in the yard or working on a car or something. And I'll hear, "Hey, Dad, come on over and talk to Beverly." Grumble, grumble, grumble. So I'll get up and I'll traipse over there. And she'll start talking to me. And it'll be the same stuff about these kids that broke into her house a long time ago. And they did this and they did that. They stole this. I'm mad. Or then last one was Halloween. "Oh, I don't give out candy. You run out of candy and the kids will egg your house. They've egged my house several times." And I want to say, lady, I really don't think it's a lack of Halloween candy that's made the kids egg your house. But so anyway, my youngest says, "Hey, look, the squirrels have eaten all the seeds and all the peanuts that we put out. Or look at these apples here that we left for the deer. There's a bite out of one of them." Yeah. And, the old lady's right when she complains about the fact that we shouldn't feed the deer and we shouldn't feed the squirrels and I shouldn't feed the birds. But I enjoy having the wildlife in my yard. It's kind of neat for my kids to say, "Look at the size of this buck walking through," and there's like a 10-point buck walking through my yard.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 on the whole thing.
It is. And the woman will start railing about how we're doing so many wrong things and tells my daughter not to do it. And that pisses me off because if you've known me long enough, not too many people tell me not to do something. From the government down to my ex-wife or anybody.
Yeah.
We just,
we both feel the same way. It's like, don't tell me what to do. I can and cannot do on my property.
Exactly. And she'll go on and on about it. So every time now she rails about the fact that I'm feeding birds, and there's too many hummingbirds in my yard. Whoever complains about the amount of hummingbirds in their yard, I will go to the local hardware store and I'll buy another hummingbird feeder. So now I've got a pine tree in my yard that looks like a Christmas tree with all the little red hummingbird feeders all over it. And suet feeders and birdseed feeders and all that.
How many are you up to now?
Huh?
How many are you up to now?
About 8 or 9. Every time she gripes and moans and complains, I put another one out there. And I think either the woman's trying to make me go bankrupt and she understands what's going on, or she's not smart enough to catch on that when you bitch, you get more birds.
Yeah.
So that's my Facebook post, is we're having a good fight now. I mean, a very civil war.
Passive-aggressive fight.
Yeah. And as you've known me for how many years, you've known that I'm not going to let a sleeping dog lie. I will do something about it.
Yeah, poke it a little.
So now I'm trying to figure out a way that I can hook up a line between our houses and have the feeders segmented along the line. So,
from the tree to the house, so that way it's showcased in front of her.
Yeah, that's it, And it's neat because all these little hummingbirds, I didn't realize how territorial they are.
Oh.
But this morning at 0500, I got up and went outside. It was like a good 18 degrees outside or something like that. And I'm walking around in my PJs because I had to let the dog go out and do something. And I went over to, I also have a small water trough out there, about a 50-gallon water trough, that initially was a dog bath. But I figured nobody's using it right now. I'm going to fill it with water and let the animals have water in all the hot that we had lately before our fires. Now it's cold, so. But I have that thing filled with water, and she complains about that one. But I went out there and I broke the ice on that.
Yeah, and, as long as it's not standing in water, so you don't have to worry about the skeeters.
Yeah. So, that's it. I make sure there's no skeeters in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was out there at 5 o'clock in the morning, and these hummingbirds were buzzing me and cussing me out like crazy. I bothered their area.
You're feeding them. Come on.
I'm feeding them. Exactly. I'm feeding these little bastards. And it's dark 100. Why aren't their little feathery butts in bed? Go to sleep. All I'm trying to do is break the ice for you guys so you can have a drink in the morning. I'm being a nice guy.
Trying to be.
Trying to be.
I had a bird. I could have sworn I saw a blue jay try to go through our window. It was a smaller bird, though, so that's why I don't think it's a blue jay. Try to go through my window right here about 20 minutes to half hour ago.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice big front room, so I'm thinking, he just didn't know, but he took a header in that thing and it ended up in the bushes, and then I couldn't see him after that. So I guess he's okay.
There was a very evil person somewhere online, and there's a lot of evil people online.
Yeah.
But there was one that hooked a camera up to his window. And he knew the birds were flying into it all the time, and he put a very bad video of bird impacts, bird strikes on the glass. And I got to admit, in a very, very mean way, they make a really funny expression when they hit that glass at 15 miles an hour. Exactly.
Okay, now my bird story. As you know, we got chickens.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have 16 of them. Actually, 14 chickens, 2 ducks. The ducks thought they were chickens. And then the male one, what we believe was the male one.
They identified. Don't judge.
Disappeared. And then about 2 or 3 weeks later, the other one disappeared. And along with, 5 chickens. So now all we got 3 Rhode Island Reds, 3 black ones, which I forget the name, Angora or something like, I think it starts with an A, but black ones. 3 little ones are about this big, including the rooster. The rooster, and I'll put a picture of him right here. When he was a chicken, he broke his leg. And this little sucker, he'll just hop around. I mean, he's fast as any other, but he's small, so I just don't see him fertilizing the 6 big ones. We got the one with the feathers on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
They're really cute. And then I got this one, looks like a little roadrunner. I mean, if his neck was a little smaller and longer, I would swear it was a roadrunner, but it's a hen. We now have a little battle with these little suckers every day. Every time we use the garage to go in and out of the house because we got the RV out in front of the front door. So we go through we park at the garage, so we go through the garage. And these little suckers come running up. They're just waddling away, just running to get into the dang garage. So I'm sitting there with one person on the button. I'm at the door, sitting there, hit it now. And they're sitting there trying, the two doors we got, they're trying to get in there. And sometimes it just ain't happening. When I'm by myself, it's like, no, I give up. You win this battle. And we got a lot of eggs.
Cool. There's an old song out there. Not old. It's an Irish and Scottish song. It's called the Bantam Cock.
Yeah, it's a bantam that we got.
Bantam, okay.
And I think
proud-looking little thing. It struts all over the place.
I think Hey is a bantam cock too.
Okay.
Little black and white.
Hey from yeah.
Yeah, that's why I call him that, because he's just...
Yeah. Well, there was an old song about one of these things where the guy had the bantam cock, and it would do everything. Okay, it would service the dog. It would service the cat. Every hen in that flock was subject to its wiles, and it just went on and on and on. And the guy was looking at the dog, the bird, thinking, this thing's amazing, and it didn't stop for anything. And everything in that yard got nailed every day. And one day he's watching it as it goes, and it stops and clutches its chest, and it drops dead. And he says, man, what a poor little guy, but what a great way to live. He's a hero. Uh-huh. Look at all he did. And he looks up in the sky and he sees these buzzards flying around. And he figures, I better bury this guy before anything happens. And he starts digging the hole, and he reaches over to get the bird. The bird looks at him, gives a little wink, like a little rapist wink, and says, hold it. They'll be down in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. I heard it differently. I was going to sit there and tell that joke too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I heard it.
You should have shut me off.
No. I was wanting to see how yours was.
I was really expurgated.
Yeah, the one I heard was this farmer, his rooster died, so he went to go borrow his neighbor's. And his neighbor says, he's really a go-getter. And he goes, okay, that's what I want. So he puts them in the yard, and he goes after each one of the chickens and nail them, boom, 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 just like he said. And this goes on for a couple days until finally the chickens are not walking. They just can't take it anymore. And he starts hitting the bird, or hit the pigs, the horses. Yeah. Starts getting all the farm animals. He says he is not going to last if he keeps this up. Then he comes out, and here, sure enough, in the morning he sees them out there. He's on the ground. Buzzards are circling overhead. I better go bury him. So he goes walk up to him, and the rooster looks at him and goes, shh. That's how I heard it.
Yeah, well, it's an old song by a group of, it's either Irish or Scottish, but it's got to be Scottish because it's sung by the Corries. And the way they sang it back in the early 70s, late 60s.
Oh, is that the one that also sang the Blue Ribbon?
No, that would be I can't remember.
The Cardigans. Cardigans? No, the Chieftains. A lot of people did the Blue Ribbon. Right.
Most lately was a friend of mine named Alec Beaton, who is not doing really well right now. But it was actually done by a music hall singer back in the 60s. And I forgot his name, but he was the one that wrote the song. So we need to go out by and do our music sometime. Well, there's another one that I heard then, if you really want to go for it. It's the guy wakes up in the middle of the night, and he goes out to look over his farm, and he was a dirt farmer. He just farmed dirt for everybody. He had a very hard scrapple existence out somewhere in Scotland, Ireland or something. And he looks out, and he sees the old cow dead. And that was his entire livelihood. The cow would take him to town, he'd milk the cow, and he'd sell the milk. That's how they made it. And he couldn't figure out how to go on without his cow. He was trying to take care of his family, so he hangs himself in the barn. And the wife hears a sound, so she comes outside, and she sees him hanging there in the barn. She sees the cow dead. Well, her cow and her livelihood is gone. Her husband, who she's known all of her life, is gone. She can't make it anymore, so she jumps into the local pond and drowns herself. Well, first son wakes up, and he sees the cow dead, and he sees the mother dead, and he sees the father dead. He goes, oh my God, what's going on here? And as he's crying and wailing away, a wee little cute little leprechaun shows up, a little girl leprechaun. And she goes, are you having a hard day? I tell you, I am. She goes, if I bring your cow back and bring your mom back and bring your dad back, what's that worth to you? She goes, would you make love to me? 10 times. Oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And of course, he can't make it 10 times. And he ends up dying. Has a wee heart attack himself. And here comes the next son out there.
Is there such thing as a wee heart attack?
He was a small guy.
Oh, okay.
So the next son comes out, and I'm going to really shorten this because it's going to be a long one.
Yeah.
He sees the cow dead, the mother dead, the father dead, the brother dead, and here's the leprechaun. She gives him the same offer. He tries, doesn't make it. So she kills him. Mm-hmm. The last one comes out there, and he sees the cow dead, the father dead, the mother dead, the brother dead, and there's the leprechaun. And he says, she gives him the same offer. He goes, well, I don't know. I mean, how do I know you'll last 10 times? The cow didn't.
But there you are.
It was a lot more drawn out, but I had to make it a little bit nicer just for general population.
For our listeners, I want to plug in now. If you get a chance, look up Google or on YouTube, Tom Lehrer. Yeah, thank you. He has a song, The Irish Ballad. That was it. It was called The Irish Ballad. About a girl that sing a song, say rickety-tickety-tin. About a girl that sing a song who didn't have her family long. Not only did she do them wrong, she did every one of them in. Yep. She did every one of them in, and goes through a whole thing. I won't go any further than that because I don't want to, occupy the next 20 minutes.
Exactly. There are some really, obviously it's a cultural thing. And I'm probably the only person online that listens to this much Irish and Scottish music. I grew up with it. But some of their music is really...
well, Tom Lehrer was actually a mathematician at Harvard or Yale. Oh, yeah, he was very much an intellectual, and he wrote for fun. He has the song Be Prepared.
Yep.
Boy Scout marching song. The Elements song, which is kind of a precursor to Monty Python's Anything Fast. Anyways, he was around during the 50s, back when...
L-E-H-R?
L-E-H-R-E-R. It's the German word for teacher, Lehrer.
Okay. I'll take another look at it. It's just been years since I've heard him.
Oh, he's wonderful.
No, there's that guy out there that sings about Old MacDonald's farm, but it's for...
You reached that far for the farm?
Well, there's a special farm or something like that, but he's talking about a
Jerry Kid's farm.
Yeah, basically it is. There's what was it? There's a.
Oh my God, Tom Lehrer, the hunting song.
Oh geez. Okay, we need to put these on air. We need to get permission to do it. I'm sure, but there's some humorous ones out there.
Oh man, the hunting song, fantastic. Okay, I'm sorry.
If we keep on going, it's going to go into a tangent. I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk about old songs. I'm sure.
If they're funny, why not?
Once a week.
Yeah. Alrighty, my friend. Until next week.
Have a great one.
Any last thoughts?
Signing off. No, I just want to tell people to make sure you come back, talk with us. Please add some flavor to the soup. We love talking to you as long as you're polite, kind, and generally a good person.
Exactly. So, don't forget, wear your mask.
Exactly.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Thanks for joining us with Never Trust a Fart. If you want to support us, please go on to Patreon. You can see it on the graphic right there on how to get to it. We call in on Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. Record it on Twitch. Then I go ahead and take that recording, edit it, and we place it on YouTube every Wednesday. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you can subscribe, that would definitely help us out. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.